Winning is never an accident. It is not luck. It is not a fortunate twist of fate. It is the outcome of deliberate, relentless decision making stacked day after day after day. Winners do not stumble into greatness. They forge it. They shape it with their own two hands, powered by choices that nobody else sees. Choices that are made when the excitement has faded, when the applause is silent, when the only voice left is the one inside their own head telling them to keep going. Winning is not something that happens to you. It's something you create. Every day is a crossroads. Every morning you wake up to a fresh opportunity to decide who you are going to be. Will you be the person who talks about dreams but lives in excuses? Or will you be the person who the hard decisions sacrifices comfort and takes the uncomfortable steps necessary to move forward? The world is full of people who hope to win, wish to win, plan to win someday when conditions are perfect. But winners are different. Winners understand that someday is a myth, someday is a trap. There is only today, and there is only the decision to show up or the decision to stay stuck. The decision to win is not a feeling. It's not about whether you woke up motivated. It's not about whether you feel inspired or whether the circumstances are aligned. Winning requires making the same hard decision whether you feel like it or not. It is about showing up to do what you said you would do long after the mood you said it and has left you. It is about being faithful to the process even when the results are invisible. It's easy to make decisions when you are excited. It's easy to commit when everything feels good. But the true mark of a winner is the person who decides in the dark, who chooses consistency in the silence, who refuses to let emotions dictate effort. Every decision matters. Every small choice stacks into a larger reality. The decision to get up when you want to sleep. The decision to push for one more rep, one more call, one more page, one more try when quitting would be easier. Winning is not found in grand, dramatic moments. It is hidden in the daily grind. In the tiny battles you think don't matter, but they do. Every time you decide to stay disciplined when it's inconvenient, you deposit into the account of your future success. Every time you choose focus over distraction, effort over apathy, resilience over excuse, you are shaping a destiny. There are no shortcuts. There are no hacks. There is no cheat code to success. The only code is this: decide every day, decide to show up, decide to grind, to believe, decide to work, decide to discipline yourself, decide to block out the noise, decide to make your dreams your obligation, not your option. Winners are not superhuman. They are not the lucky few. They are the relentless ones who out-decided, out-disciplined, and outlasted everyone else. The lie that keeps people stuck is the belief that winning happens at the end of the journey, that winning is the trophy, the celebration, the finish line. But the truth is, and winning happens long before the world sees it. Winning happens in the lonely mornings when you wake up early to train while everyone else is sleeping. Winning happens in the quiet nights when you stay up studying, practicing, building while others are wasting time. Winning happens when you do the right thing when nobody would even notice if you didn't. Every day that you decide to be the kind of person who does what's necessary, you win. You win over your old self. You win over the temptation to quit. You win over distractions pulling you away from your purpose. It is not about a single moment of brilliance. It is about relentless consistency in making winning decisions over and over until winning becomes your identity. It becomes who you are, not just what you want. It becomes the way you live, not just the thing you chase. It's the decision to keep your standards high when the world expects you to settle. It's the decision to push harder, think bigger, believe deeper even when doubt tries to take over. Winning decisions often don't look glamorous. They look like sweat. They look like early mornings and late nights. They look like sacrifice. They look like saying no to what is easy so you can say yes to what is necessary. They look like discipline so intense that the world calls you obsessed. Good, be obsessed. Be relentless. Be the person who is willing to do what average refuses to do. Be the person who decides that comfort will not be the story of your life. Be the person who decides that greatness will not be an accident you hope, but a reality you create with your bare hands. Every day, life hands you the pen and asks you to write your story. Every decision is a sentence. Every habit is a paragraph. Every standard you set becomes a chapter. What you decide today echoes in the life you live tomorrow. Winners know this. Winners understand that there is no magic moment coming to save them. No one is coming to push them across the finish line. It's always been on them. The decision to win is brutal. It demands sacrifice. It demands courage. It demands a willingness to look fear in the face and take another step anyway. It demands the resilience to hear no and keep moving. It demands the strength to be counted out, overlooked, underestimated, and still show up. It demands faith when results are invisible. It demands endurance when the journey feels endless. There comes a point where you have to decide that your dreams, your goals, your future are too important to leave in the hands of other people's opinions. Real winners don't move based on applause. They don't need a crowd to scream their name before they start running toward greatness. They are driven by something deeper, something that can't be turned off just because nobody's clapping. When the lights are off and the stands are empty, they are still grinding. They are still showing up. They are still pushing past their limits because the fire that fuels them comes from within, not from the outside. You cannot be driven by validation and expect to reach your potential. External validation is a fragile fuel. It fades the moment criticism shows up. It disappears the moment you are overlooked, doubted, or ignored. If your motivation is tied to who notices you, you will only work hard when you are seen, and you will collapse the moment you are unseen. That is not the foundation of champions. Champions are built in the dark. Champions are born when nobody cares, and they still decide to go all in. They fuel themselves with vision, not approval. Self-motivation is the difference between those who almost make it and those who break through. The almost winners wait for a sign, a cheer, a kazan. The true winners decide that their dreams are valid even if no one else believes. They understand that vision is personal. It was given to them, not to the world. It was planted in their heart for a reason. It wasn't a conference call. It wasn't a group announcement. It was a private revelation. And because of that, it requires private commitment. Nobody owes you understanding. Nobody owes you encouragement. Your fire must be self-sustaining. When you live for external validation, you hand your power away. You make your destiny dependent on whether or not someone else decides to approve of you. You let your momentum rise and fall with other people's opinions. And opinions are fickle. People cheer for you or winning. They vanish when you fall. They celebrate your success, but many secretly root for your failure. Build your drive on something unshakable. Build it on a decision. Build it on an unbreakable standard. Build it on an identity that says, I do this because it's who I am, not because it's popular, easy, or praised. The ones who make it, the ones who thrive, they don't need an audience to train like champions. They don't need a stage to practice like professionals. They don't need constant encouragement to prepare like warriors. They don't need to be hyped up to hustle. They live with a sense of purpose so real, so tangible that even on their worst days, even when nobody is watching, they still push forward. Their why is bigger than their comfort. Their vision is bigger than their validation. You have to get to a place where the silence motivates you more than the noise. Where being overlooked doesn't it builds you. Where being doubted doesn't depress you, it drives you. Where every time someone questions you, you say nothing. You just keep building. You let your results answer the questions. You let your work speak volumes. Your focus becomes so locked in that you don't even notice when the crowd leaves because you never showed up for them in the first place. Self-motivation is not born from fantasy. It is forged through discipline. It is the result of deciding every day that the dream is non-negotiable. It is choosing to work with excellence even when you feel exhausted. It is choosing to keep your standards high even when the rewards are low. It is choosing to focus on progress, not praise. It is remembering that the reward is in the work itself, the growth, the transformation, the strengthening of your character. The people who wait for validation are always a step behind. They are always reactive, always trying to fit in, always trying to be seen. But those who are self-motivated, they lead. They move first. They build when others are still waiting. They believe when others are still doubting. They plant seeds in the season of invisibility so they can harvest when the world finally wakes up and wonders how they made it. The truth is they made it in the moments no one else saw because they decided they didn't need the world to believe in them before they believed in themselves. You must be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, this is for your future. This is for your legacy. And that has to be enough. There will be seasons where nobody calls. Nobody checks in. Nobody congratulates you. There will be seasons where your results are slow, your progress feels invisible, and your doubts are loud. Those are the seasons that separate the committed from the casual. Those are the seasons that define your destiny. If you can keep moving when there is no applause, You will build a life that will demand applause later. But you won't need it because by then, you will already have become the person you dreamed of being. The day you stop needing external validation is the day you take full ownership of your potential. The day you stop looking for permission is the day you unlock your power. The day you stop waiting for motivation to find you is the day you become unstoppable. You have to light your own fire. You have to fan your own flames. You have to wake yourself up, hype yourself up, pick yourself up. You have to be your own source of energy when everyone else is silent. There is a whole world of people who are too busy chasing approval to chase their purpose. Don't be one of them. Chase purpose, chase vision, chase greatness. Chase the version of you that is hiding on the other side of self-motivation. Every day you show up for yourself, you are casting a vote for a future you say you want. Every rep, every call, every hour invested in the dark is building something the world take away from you because the world didn't give it to you. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the pathway. Pain is the undeniable cost of real, meaningful progress. Every time you decide to grow, to stretch beyond your limits, to chase a dream bigger than the life you're currently living, you are signing up for a season of pain. But it's not the kind of pain that destroys you. It's the kind that refines you. It's the fire that burns away the weakness, the fear, the hesitation. It's the pressure that molds you into the champion you were always meant to be. Without pain, there is no strength. Without struggle, there is no growth. Most people run at the first sign of discomfort. They believe that it hurts. It must be wrong. They believe that if it's difficult, it must not be meant for them. They crave an easy path, a path paved with soft landings and smooth victories. But greatness does not exist on easy paths. It does not reside when there is no resistance. Greatness is forged in the harsh fires of adversity. It is found only by those willing to walk through the valley of pain, bleeding, sweating, crying, and still moving forward. You cannot avoid the pain if you want the prize. You cannot bypass the suffering if you want the strength. Every champion, every legend, every story worth telling was written with the ink of struggle. The pain you are so afraid of is actually the evidence that you are moving in the right direction. If it stretches you, it is growing you. If it challenges you, it is changing you. If it burns, it is building you. The comfort zone is a silent killer. It whispers lullabies of safety and ease, but it quietly robs you of your greatness. Pain wakes you up. It forces you to adapt, to evolve, to become. Pain is the price of progress because real progress demands sacrifice. It demands that you let go of who you were to become who you must be. It demands that you leave behind habits, mindset, and patterns that are too small for your destiny. And that process is never comfortable. Transformation is violent. Growth is messy. It's the ripping apart of the old to make room for the new. If you are unwilling to endure that process, you are unwilling to succeed at the level you dream about. Every time you push through pain instead of running from it, you expand your capacity. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than you thought. You prove that your mind can dominate your feelings. You prove that you are capable of more than you imagine. Pain introduces you to the real you, the warrior, the fighter, the unstoppable force buried under years of fear, excuses, and comfort. Pain rips away the lies you have believed about your limits. It shows you what you're really made of. Pain teaches discipline, it's patience. It teaches perseverance. Pain sharpens your focus. When you are suffering, you are not distracted. You are not wasting energy on things that don't matter. You are locked in, dialed in, fighting for every inch. Pain clarifies your priorities. It strips away the fluff and forces you to confront what really matters to you. Are you willing to hurt for it? Are you willing to sacrifice for it? Are you willing to suffer for it? Because if you're not serious about winning, the path to greatness is littered with broken dreams from those who could not endure the pain. They started strong, fueled by excitement and hype, but when the pain came, they folded. They didn't realize that the pain was not a sign to stop. It was a sign to keep going. It was a test. It was a refinement. It was the entrance fee to the life they said they wanted, but they turned around. They chose comfort over calling, ease over excellence, temporary relief over eternal reward. When you accept that pain as part of the process, it loses its power over you. You stop being surprised by it. You stop feeling victimized by it. You start expecting it. You start preparing for it. You start seeing it as a companion on your journey, not an enemy to be feared. You start embracing it, welcoming it, because you know that every painful step forward is a step closer to the life you were born to live. Pain is temporary, but the strength it builds is permanent. The struggle is brutal, but the person you become through it is unbreakable. You can choose a life of comfort or you can choose a life of growth, but you cannot choose both. Comfort will keep you soft. Growth will make you strong. Comfort will keep you dreaming. Growth will make you adore. Comfort will keep you stuck. Growth will set you free. And pain is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. The truth is, there's no success story without a chapter of suffering. There is no masterpiece without messy drafts. There is no championship without brutal seasons of training. Pain is the currency you must pay to buy your future. It is the weight you must lift to build your inner muscles. It is the storm you must endure to find your strength. Every great breakthrough is born from a season of pain. Every record broken, every obstacle shattered, every impossible feat accomplished was once a painful, lonely, exhausting process that someone refused to give up on. Pain is not a punishment. It's a privilege. It means you are in the arena. It means you are in the fight. It means you are alive and moving and striving for something bigger than the easy life the world offers. If you are hurting, it means you are not hiding. It means you are not settling. It means you are reaching, stretching, becoming. Let the pain shape you. Let it toughen you. Let it teach you how to endure, how to persist, how to overcome. Let it remind you every day that you are not here to live a small, safe life. You are here to live a life that demands everything you've got. A life that leaves nothing on the table. A life that is worth the pain. The greatest battles you will ever fight are not out there in the world. They are inside your mind. Before you ever win on the field, in the boardroom, in the arena, you have to win in your head. Your mind is the command center. It is the place where every victory is first conceived and where every defeat is first allowed. If you lose the battle in your thoughts, you will never stand a chance in the physical world. But if you conquer your mind, there is no force on this earth that can stop you from rising. Your mind is your strongest weapon because everything starts with belief. If you do not believe it is possible, you will never take the first step. If you believe you are too weak, too late, too broken, too disadvantaged, you will never summon the energy to fight for your destiny. Belief shapes behavior. Mindset shapes movement. If your mind is programmed for fear, hesitation, and defeat, you will live a life that reflects those beliefs, no matter how much potential you have buried inside you. But when your mind is trained for victory, trained for resilience, trained for dominance, you start moving differently. You start thinking, you start attacking life with a different kind of fire. The mind can be your prison or your passport. It can lock you into a cycle of mediocrity and self-sabotage, or it can launch you into greatness. It all depends on who is in control. Are you the master of your mind, or are you a slave to it? Are you feeding it thoughts that fuel your future, or are you allowing it to replay the fears and failures of your past? The world outside of you will always mirror the world inside of you. If you want to change your results, you must first change your thinking. Strengthening the mind is not a one-time decision. It is a daily battle. Every day doubt will knock. Fear will whisper. Insecurity will try to crawl back in. And every day you must choose to fight. You must choose to replace the lies with truth. You must choose to feed yourself with belief, courage, discipline, and vision. You must choose to guard your mind like a warrior guarding a fortress, because if the enemy takes the mind, he doesn't even have to fight for the body. The mind controls the actions, and the actions control the outcomes. You must become intentional about what you allow into your mental space. You cannot entertain negativity and expect to live positively. You cannot absorb fear and expect to walk boldly. You cannot feed on distractions and expect to focus. What you consume mentally will eventually consume you physically. What you allow to dominate your mind will eventually dominate your life. Protect it, fortify it, for where you want to go, not where you fear you might end up. Your mind has the power to transform obstacles into opportunities, problems into possibilities, setbacks into setups for comebacks, but only if you train it to see that way. The average mind sees problems and stops. The winning mind sees problems and strategizes. The average mind sees defeat as the end. The winning mind sees defeat as data, as a lesson, as fuel for the next attempt. Perspective is everything. Two people can face the same storm and experience two completely different realities based on how their minds are trained. When you weaponize your mind, you become a force that cannot be contained. You become the kind of person who does not fold under pressure but rises under it. You become the kind of person who is not paralyzed by fear but propelled by it. Fear is not your enemy. Doubt is not your enemy. Quitting is your enemy. And quitting always begins in the mind long before it shows up in your actions. If you win in your head, you have already won half the battle. Training your mind requires discipline. It requires repetition. It requires speaking life when everything around you looks like death. It requires seeing possibilities where others see impossibility. It requires refusing to allow temporary circumstances to convince you of a permanent fate. Every time you choose faith over fear, discipline over distraction, action over procrastination, you are strengthening the muscle of your mind. Visualization, one of the most powerful tools you can use. If you can see it in your mind, you can begin to move toward it in reality. Winners visualize the outcome they want long before it exists. They see themselves breaking records, winning championships, building empires long before a single person believes in them. They hold that picture in their mind and refuse to let the outside world tear it down. They work toward it with relentless focus because what the mind believes, the body will follow. Affirmation is another weapon. Speak what you seek until you see what you said. Words have power, especially the words you speak to yourself. If you constantly tell yourself you're weak, broken, or unlucky, your mind will find ways to make that your reality. But if you speak strength, victory, resilience, and purpose, your mind will begin to align your actions with that reality. Your inner dialogue shapes your outer world more than any external voice ever could. Mental toughness is not about feeling invincible. It is about knowing you can be hurt, knowing you can be knocked down, and still choosing to fight. It is about knowing that fear will visit, but refusing to let it stay. It is about staring down adversity and deciding that you will not be broken. It is about being so deeply connected to your purpose that no amount of pain, rejection, or failure can derail you. It is about being resilient, adaptable, unshakable in the face of life's storms. Your mind is your strongest weapon, and every day you are either sharpening it or dulling it. You are either preparing for battle or preparing for defeat. There is no neutral ground. The mind left untrained becomes a breeding ground for fear, laziness, and weakness. The mind trained daily becomes a powerhouse of strength, creativity, and endurance. Success begins long before you step on the stage. It begins the moment you decide that your mind will no longer be your enemy, but your greatest ally. Only there comes a time when you have to draw a line in the sand and say, no more. No more living beneath your potential. No more accepting scraps when you know you were made for feasts. No more shrinking to fit places you have outgrown. No more settling for a life that does not set your soul on fire. You have to refuse to settle for anything less than the greatness that is already inside you. Because the truth is, life will give you whatever you are willing to accept. If you accept average, it will give you average. If you accept disrespect, it will give you disrespect. If you accept mediocrity, it will give you mediocrity. But when you raise your standard, when you demand more of yourself, more of your surroundings, more of your destiny, life has no choice but to rise and meet you there. Settling is subtle. It creeps in disguise as practicality. It comes wrapped in excuses that sound reasonable. Maybe this is good enough. Maybe I should just be grateful for what I have. Maybe I'm asking for too much. That voice is not wisdom. That voice is fear wearing a mask. That voice is the part of you that has been beaten up by disappointment, rejection, and delay. It is the voice that wants to keep you safe, even if it means keeping you small. Refusing to settle does not mean you are ungrateful. It means you are unwilling to betray the dreams that were planted in your heart for a reason. It means you honor the call in your life more than you fear the cost of chasing it. Settling steals your fire. It extinguishes your passion. It dulls your spirit until one day you wake up and you don't even recognize the person you have become. You were not born to blend in. You were born to stand out. You were not born to survive. You were born to thrive. Deep down, you know this. You feel the restlessness in your soul every time you accept less than you deserve. You feel the frustration every time you lower your standard to match your surroundings. That is not negativity. That is your greatness trying to wake you up. That is your destiny trying to shake you out of your slumber. Refusing to settle means demanding excellence from yourself first. It means pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone, even when no one is watching. It means raising your work ethic, raising your focus, raising your commitment. It means showing up every day with the mindset that says, I will not give a half-hearted effort and expect a wholehearted reward. It means holding yourself accountable to the vision you claimed you wanted when no one was around. It means doing the work when excitement fades and the grind is the only thing left. Because the truth is, the world will not give you what you want. It will give you what you demand by your actions, by your standards, and by your relentless refusal to settle for anything less. When you refuse to settle, you set a new standard, not just for yourself, but everyone around you. You become a living reminder that excellence is possible. You inspire others to raise their standards too. You create an environment where mediocrity cannot survive. You set the tone, and others either rise to meet it or fall away. Either way, you protect your space. You protect your energy. You protect the vision you are building because you understand that proximity is power. Who you surround yourself with matters. Settlers will try to convince you to settle. Dreamers will challenge you to dream bigger. Winners will challenge you to level up. Protect your environment like your future depends on it, because it does. Refusing to settle also means being willing to walk away from what no longer serves you. It means being willing to leave relationships, jobs, habits, and environments that keep you stuck. It means having the courage to say, this is not enough for me. I am called to more. It will not always be easy. Walking away from familiar things, even when they are unhealthy, can feel terrifying. But staying in places that drain you is far more dangerous than stepping into the unknown. Growth always demands a sacrifice. Sometimes that sacrifice is comfort. Sometimes it's relationships. Sometimes it's approval. But the reward is always worth it. There will be moments when you are tempted to compromise. Moments when the shortcut looks tempting. Moments when settling looks easier than standing your ground. That is when you must remind yourself who you are and what you are fighting for. You are not here to live a watered-down version of your dream. You are here to experience the fullness of what you were created for. You are here to leave a legacy, not a life of regret. You are here to blaze trails, not to tiptoe safely to your grave. Settling might feel safe in the short term, but it is deadly in the long term. It kills your dreams slowly. It suffocates your potential one compromise at a time. And the worst part is you won't even realize it at first. You'll tell yourself, just for now. You'll tell yourself, adjust until things get better. But soon, just for now, becomes forever. Soon you forget you even had dreams that big. Refusing to settle is about protecting that fire. It's about keeping your dreams alive long enough for them to manifest into reality. Life will test you. It will tempt you with easy routes, with second best offers, with almost good enough situations. It will ask you, how bad do you really want it? Your answer cannot be found in your words. It is found in your choices. It is found in your standards. It is found in your daily refusal to accept anything less than what you know deep down you were born to achieve. The world doesn't owe you anything, but you owe it to yourself to fight for everything you were made for. You owe it to yourself to refuse to shrink, refuse to settle, refuse to sleepwalk through a life that demands your full engagement. Victory is not handed to you. It is forged in the fire of relentless effort, unwavering belief, and a mind that refuses to break. Winning is not a moment, it is a mindset. It is the decision you make every morning to fight for the life you know you deserve, even when no one else believes, even when the odds seem stacked against you. It is the voice inside you screaming louder than fear, louder than doubt, louder than every reason to quit. It is the spirit that rises every time you fall. It is the heart that keeps beating with hunger even after failure tries to knock you out. You were born to win, but you must be willing to pay the price. You must fight through the sweat, the tears, the loneliness, and the pain. You must be willing to get back up every time life knocks you down. You must command your mind to see victory before it becomes visible. You must chase excellence when settling feels easier. You must refuse to accept anything less than the extraordinary life you are capable of living. You are not average. You are not built to live small. There's greatness inside you waiting to be unleashed, but it demands a new level of discipline, a new level of focus, a new level of hunger. Rise and thrive. Push past the noise. Silence the inner critic. Ignite the fire that has always been inside you. Declare it over your life every single day: I will win. No matter how long it takes, no matter how hard the path, no matter how fierce the opposition, I will not stop until I reach the summit. I will not retreat. I will not surrender. I will not settle. I will win.